sit down.
You're listening to the Cheaters Never Pin podcast, a proud part of the Section 328 family. Follow us on Twitter at CheatersInVRPin. Now, live from ringside, it's Mr. Workrate and JC. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Cheaters Never Pin podcast, the podcast beyond. I'm JC. Next to me is my good buddy who's in a protective, sealed environment for my safety, Mr. Workrate, Tom.
I'm dying.
So you may have noticed we're running a day late this week because Tom is a little under the weather. So blame him.
I don't know if it's a change in seasons or just the fact that, I don't know, people are filthy.
Both. It's actually cool finally, so.
It was, but like this is the magical time of year in North Carolina where it's like 40 degrees when you wake up and leave for work, and when you go back home, it's like 77.
Yep. And then 15 minutes after the sun goes down, it's back at 40.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I don't know if you're watching, we're bit stealing here. Live score update. Hurricanes 1, Avalanche 0.
Get out.
And Victor Rask smiled.
No, he didn't.
He did.
Now you're just lying.
He did. No, he smiled. Can't be confirmed on Twitter.
Okay.
Yep. So
he's just ruining his gimmick now.
The Hurricanes starting off strong, and we're going to do the same.
Sure.
We're going to start with a topic that, as soon as I saw this, I knew Tom was going to have many, many opinions about, and I do as well. WWE has released the rules for the War Games match for NXT, the Saturday before Survivor Series.
Spoiler, they're wrong.
Yes. Anyway, so here's the rules of the match as follows. I'm just going to read this article for the fans at home. For the patrons and bitches at home, I should say. 3-member teams of Sanity, so Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane, versus the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly, and the Authors of Pain with Roderick Strong, will wage war inside a massive steel cage that surrounds 2 rings. Okay. Good. So far, so good. Other than the 3 teams thing, which I know you're going to complain about.
Yep.
You already have.
Yep.
But still works.
Okay.
It still could work in theory. Let's see where they go from here. All 3 teams will be contained inside separate shark cages by the entranceway, with a member from each team as chosen by a squad starting the match. Okay, so we're starting with 3 guys, and the other teams are locked up. What?
Yep. In shark cages, which are only really supposed to have 1 person in them, but apparently we're locking 2 people in each cage, and we're having 3 cages.
Right. Up on the entrance ramp, apparently.
So they'll be like right next to each other, because the entrance ramp isn't all that wide.
Right. Well, they'll have the full set. Now, are they in the same building as Survivor Series the next night? The Honda Center, I think? I don't remember. So after 5 matches, the remaining members from one team will be released into the shark cage and allowed to enter the match. All right, you done fucked up because it's supposed to be 1 man at a time.
Are we in a hurry?
Yeah, I mean,
do we want to get this over with as soon as possible?
I guess they realize it's only a 2-hour show, I guess. But yeah, when another 3-minute period elapses. The remaining members from the second team are released from the cage and enter the match.
Tick, 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 tick. 3 minutes? Okay.
Yep. Then after another 3 minutes, the final team members are released. And then begins the match beyond. And a pinfall or submission will get a win for your team. What?
Okay. So
I realize they're limited on... This is fully based on the fact that they're limited on time.
See, so while you were going through that, I went to our handy friends at Wikipedia.
Ooh, I've heard of them.
And I started looking up previous war games, like real war games, not this crap, but real war games. The original War Games, which was Great American Bash, 87. Road Warriors, Nikita Koloff, Dusty Rhodes, Paul Ellering. Ooh, Paul Ellering. There's your connection right there. Against the Four Horsemen, the Luger Four Horsemen, and J.J. Dillon. Went 22 minutes, 10 seconds. That's not a long time. The second War Games match, which was still the Great American Bash in 87, but at a different location, went 1938. Wow. So again, we're not talking huge 45-minute long matches. Because for the most part, what would happen is you had two people start the match, whoever the face was, and Arn Anderson, because there was always Arn Anderson to start.
Right.
And you had those two start off, and then the coin flip, which could be won by any team, which is the Four Horsemen. So the heels always win the coin toss. So you get the second heel in, and then the face goes in, then the heel, then the face, and it just goes back and forth like that. And that wasn't too long either. I think the time periods of that were, say, 2 minutes, but you're talking 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, because you've got 8 people you have to put back in. So was it 2, 4, 6? That's right. 16 minutes.
And aren't those are usually 2 minutes straight off the top, not 5 minutes and then 2 minutes and then 2 minutes and then 2 minutes, because that's what they're doing here.
Yeah, I mean, something along those lines. But I mean, once the actual match beyond thing starts, it never took that long, because you've already got most of the drama of the match, because you have the extra heel goes in, so you have the double team, and then the face comes in to even it up, and comes in like a house of fire, and then the next heel comes in and gets the advantage again, so you have that drama going. Finally, when the last person gets in, that's when the match beyond breaks out. And again, it's not that long. You've only got 4 or 5 minutes of, craziness to take place because most of these guys have been wrestling 14, 16 minutes already. Half, if not all of them, are busted open already. So it doesn't have to go that much longer. So I don't know why we're rushing to get whatever in, but, okay, one of my main issues with that, I mean, whatever. Timing, fine. You want to run it quick, run it quick. Why are we doing pinfalls?
Weren't the original War Games matches pinfall or submission?
Submit or surrender.
Okay, that's right.
That was War Games.
That is, you're right. Forgotten. It's been a while since I've watched any of those matches.
So, I mean, that's the way it originally, I mean, yeah, I'm, again, just kind of running through it here. The first one was when they legit broke J.J. Dillon's shoulder.
Yep. Tom is coughing right now. He's back. He might, maybe.
So that mute thing just... I'm sorry, is it the heavy breathing that suddenly cuts off and you're like, oh, he's coughing?
No. Like, because, there's always just kind of white noise in the back, and they probably can't hear it in post once I clean it up. Maybe they can. I don't really know. But the white noise just ends for me.
Gotcha.
I'm like, ooh, dead silence. Anyway.
But you had the J.J. Dillon legit separated shoulder. You had Animal taking his spiked armband and gouging at the eyes of the War Machine to make him submit. Stan Lane submitted to a figure 4 leg lock. J.J. Dillon, for some reason, was wrestling again. He submits. J.J. Dillon submits to a figure 4. J.J. Dillon submits to torture rack. Why is J.J. Dillon wrestling in all these matches?
Because he's such a stellar wrestler.
J.J. Dillon submits to Sting's Scorpion Deathlock. J.J. submits. Just pretty much, you knew in 87 or 88, J.J. Dillon was going to submit to the War Games. 89, Hawk forces Jimmy Garvin to submit. 91. Oh, Wrestle War 91. Yes, I remember that. Sid Vicious proceeds, and go check out Wrestle War 91 if you're really bored to see that War Games. So Sid, being the careful worker that he is, proceeds to do his finishing powerbomb on Brian Pillman. As you know, in the War Games cage has a top on it. And Sid is not a short guy. So Sid proceeds to whip up Pillman, who's a smaller guy, into the powerbomb to do this snap powerbomb on him, and proceeds to whip him up so that his legs hit the top of the cage, and then Sid pretty much drops him on his head.
Yeah.
Which legitimately knocked out Pillman.
Do you think the WWE War Games cage will have a top on it, or are they just going to use the assets from the cages that go to house shows?
I think they'd catch too much hell if they didn't.
Right.
I think they're going to make it try to look as close as possible to the original War Games in that way. It's just that they don't really have, I guess they don't have the structure necessarily to put together a 5-on-5 team, and maybe they don't want to do a 5-on-5 team when the next night we're doing 5-on-5 teams in the Survivor Series.
Oh, yep. That makes sense. Don't burn people out on that.
Yeah, so we're
my thought is if it's going to be a cage with the top on it, that means they had a new one, a new War Games cage fabricated, because obviously even if the old WCW one was working or was still in the warehouse, it's not going to work with that ring size that WWE uses. So it's either the old assets of the house show steel cages, or it's a totally new structure.
My thought, I think it would kind of air some legitimacy to make it kind of look old school in that, the graded steel cage, and just kind of have it old like that. But I'm sure they're going to make something new, but at the same time, they may be seeing the potential of running War Games maybe once a year.
Right.
Or maybe this is something that they're going to bring into the WWE,
Yeah, because if they're going to spend the money on it, they're going to use it more than just for one NXT show.
Right. Maybe they'll break it out for Starrcade.
Yeah, probably not. We already have 2 just regular steel cage matches that night.
They could happen simultaneously.
I kind of want to see that be a thing.
With just one referee who's just totally confused, running back and forth.
Just John Cone spreading around like an idiot.
Charlotte, hold on. They started the pin first.
That's a heel's wet dream right there. Is a ref having run between 2 matches?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Anyway, yep. So, if you're expecting normal War Games, it is not that. Which we already knew since there's 3 teams. But, obviously, the authors of Roddy is the first one in. And then the authors of Pain make the save being the last team in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I saw the rules, I was like, oh, I know how this is booked already.
That's how War Games always was in the first place, is you look for your cardio guy, your conditioning guy.
Oh, yeah.
And you put them in first.
So you think it's going to be like Roddy, Kyle O'Reilly, and EY?
I could see it being EY.
It's either EY or Alexander Wolf.
But they don't necessarily have to carry as much, because whoever the first team to get in is.
True. So you can throw Killian Dane in first, have him wreck everybody, and then Sanity joins him.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, it's the thing. If you go back and you look back at older War Games matches, you just see the way that everything's kind of structured, and it was always you kind of had this thought, like, ooh, is it going to be Nikita or Road Warrior Hawk who's going to be the last one in? Like, who's going to blow up quicker? And the answer is Nikita. It's always
Every
Nikita.
time. My hype is still great for this, though.
I think it'll be great. It's not War Games.
It's their
Like, if it
it's their
wasn't
stamp
called
on War
War
Games.
If it were called, like, Battle Cage or something, well, that just sounds like a bad 90s.
That sounds WCW. That's a WCW pay-per-view.
Sounds like something after, like, Roller Games.
Welcome to WCW Battle Games. All right, moving on.
Was that a gun?
If a can of Frosty Delicious Miller High Life is a loaded weapon, then yes.
I mean, I guess it could be if you threw it hard enough.
It's true. Hey, Tom.
Yes, JC?
Say I really wanted to go back and find the WWE Compendium DVD of War Games matches.
But you already have that.
Play along.
But maybe you want to buy it for someone else.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Maybe you see this coming and you're like, you know what? I'd like to show someone what real War Games is.
The holidays are coming, JC.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know if you know this or not.
I might be acutely aware of this, given my line of my full-time job. But yeah, I know somewhere where you could buy it, Tom.
Where's that, JC?
It's Amazon.com.
Ooh.
And all you got to do is you go to open up your Internet Explorer or Edge or whatever it is now, and you type in www.amazon.com, and then you search for War Games, and then you buy it. And it's really easy.
No, hey, I've got an even better idea.
Ooh, okay.
How about instead you go to cheatersneverpin.com? Okay, hear me out on this.
Okay, we're not selling it, so that seems weird, but continue.
So go to cheatersneverpin.com and feel free to click on other stuff, articles that we may have written, or stuff like the Match Exchange. If you hear us talking about the Match Exchange, JC, for the most part, usually puts a link to those matches in the link that also contains the podcast. So
yeah,
if you want to hear the match that we're going to be talking about the following week, you can do it that way. But there is a link at the top of the page.
Uh-huh.
And it says Amazon.com. Click on that.
Oh, there is. I didn't know this.
And what that'll do is that'll take you to Amazon.com, just same as typing in Amazon.com would. But what happens is when you click on that button and you go to Amazon.com that way and you make your purchase of the War Games Compendium or whatever other things you can buy on mouth guards, or
maybe you just want to buy the movie War Games.
Matthew Broderick was fine that. I love that movie. If you buy those things, they will come to you at the same price that you would have normally paid otherwise.
What?
But what also happens is Amazon gives us a tiny little bit of that money.
Ooh.
So they pocket most of it, but they give us a few pennies just for directing you to Amazon.com. So if you make the purchase that you were going to make anyway, but instead go through cheatersneverpin.com, click on the Amazon.com button and make your purchase, that'll make us happy because hopefully you'll buy something really, really stupidly expensive, and we might even get a few dollars out of that.
Yeah.
But
and like I said, holiday shopping is coming up, and there's no better place to go than cheatersneverpin.com and click the Amazon button. Even though I would prefer if you went to a mall, because, I need to pay for food and rent. But if you're going to shop on Amazon, use cheatersneverpin.com.
Well, it depends. If you're buying things that, like electronics or something like that.
Sure, anything but if you need chocolate. Just buy everything but chocolate there. It's fine. Also, as a note, as I was testing this, I know if you search WWE War Games in Amazon, the first thing that comes up is Cupcake Wars, and I don't know why, but the second entry is the correct DVD set. Maybe you want to watch Cupcake, because that's digital. even if you're buying things for your iPad to watch digitally, it's going to kick back a few cents to us. Maybe you're going to watch Cupcake Wars while you wait for your War Games DVD to arrive. Feel free to do that. Buy both.
And that stuff gets vicious, man. I've watched those Cupcake Wars and baking challenges, and that there's a lot of drama there. People screw up stuff. They start to cry. Stuff falls over. They make towers. It falls over.
Somebody gigs while they're leaning into an oven.
There's so much blood. There's always blood.
They just lean into the oven and they come back out bloody.
I geek myself.
Crockett and Shivani are losing their shit on commentary. It's great. No, that's a YouTube project. Crockett, just get sound drops from that and cut it over episodes of Cupcake Wars.
So I geeked myself on, what was it, Friday? Saturday.
Yes.
When was the game?
Yes, please explain this, because all I know is I see a tweet. I'm back in Winston getting ready to watch the Wake game, and I see a tweet about that you had a tailgate injury, and then I see you in the background at intermission while Shane and Maniscalco were doing their show, and you're walking around. I see a bandage on your hand.
Yeah. Okay, so Saturday we had the Canes game, and I guess it was Saturday. It was Friday?
It was Friday.
No, it was Friday.
It was Friday.
We were doing this quickly. So I get out of work, I pick up a kid, and I throw my little portable grill, because I have two portable grills. I have one that's about the size of yours, or the one that you used to have. I don't know if you ever replaced it.
Rip, it's in the garbage.
But there's the 2-burner one, and then I also have one that looks like a little Weber bowl kind of thing, which is great for just throwing in the back of the car and throwing a couple of hot dogs on or whatever. It's probably about the size, maybe a 4 hamburger size, but throw a little propane tank on there. It folds up real nice. It's awesome. I got it for $5 at the garage sale. So I've got the hot dogs, and I get to the game, and it's like 6 o'clock, and I think it's a 7:30 start on Fridays nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, screw it, I'm going to cook up some hot dogs, because I don't feel like paying like $6 for a 5-cent hot dog inside the arena. I'm going to have some of these quality hot dogs that Pat brought to the original tailgate, which we just kind of took. Thanks, Pat. Plus, Pat was there, so I could share with him the hot dogs that he actually purchased. So these things are sealed up in plastic, and I grabbed a knife. I was looking for scissors, but I'm like, I'm always going to lose scissors. Let me find a knife. So for whatever reason, I decided to grab a serrated steak knife.
Oh.
And I went to hold the hot dog package, the plastic, up top. I figured that I would cut across, and I'm making this cutting motion, but you understand, you've cut things before.
Yes. At least once.
And I proceed to make one pull, and my thumb was apparently too low, and I proceed to pull the knife completely across my thumb, to which, of course, I drop everything. And the blood just starts spurting out. As I said to JC in our either Twitter or text conversation, where the other, it's about a 6 on the Muda scale. Because it's just dripping down, and so I go to our friends the Flanagans, and I'm going, you've got this big truck. You have a child. Surely you have a first aid kit. No. No one has a first aid kit. So Lee, Mike's wife, lovely woman, a mom. Moms always have a solution for everything. Goes, wait a second, I have an idea. And she goes into the truck, and I'm just sitting there, blood spurting out, kind of losing consciousness, whatever. Do. She comes back with a diaper. And she goes, take the diaper,
I didn't know this part.
wrap it around, and I wrapped the diaper around my thumb because what's like one of the most absorbent things in the world, the diaper. So I wrapped the diaper around my thumb until the thumb will eventually clot. So I'm just holding it there, and I'm like, well, time to finish the hot dogs. And I proceed to cut open the rest of the hot dogs and put them on a grill. As one hand's holding the tongs and the other hand's holding a diaper. And I cooked up the hot dogs with a minimal amount of blood. I only got a little bit of blood on my shoe. Didn't get any of my pants, so I'm very proud of myself there. And held on to the diaper for a while, took it away, and then the thumb clotted up enough that it wasn't like gushing blood anymore. So it kind of dried up and clotted. But my hand kind of looked like Ric Flair post-interview. So the dried blood is all over the hand and that type of thing. And Lee gives me a diaper wipe, so I clean off most of my hand. I'm not touching the thumb because I figure if I clean up the dried blood around my thumb, it's just going to reopen the clot. So I'll leave that as is. So in the first period, I'm just kind of holding my thumb and showing it to people and freaking them out. Then finally, at the end of the first period, they're like, why don't you just go down to the first aid station and ask for a Band-Aid? I'm like, oh, yeah, that would make sense. So I walk around the bottom concourse until I find the first aid station. I ask for a Band-Aid, and they're like, why? And I hold up my thumb, and okay. So they give me a Band-Aid. Cheapest Band-Aid ever.
Well, yeah.
And I proceed to walk back, and I see Mascalco's doing his little segment there, and I just kind of looked over, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're on. I guess they're on, and apparently that's the exact time you were watching as well, so.
Mm-hmm.
That's the story of how I gigged my thumb. And now there's no Band-Aid on it anymore, but there's still a decent little gash in there. So it still looks cool. Maybe it'll scar up. Who knows?
Live score update, 2-2. It is now 2-2 on the back of an Elias Lindholm goal. Also, Cam let one in, glove side high, short side. Well,
this is my shocked face.
I know. I can't even see it, and I know it. Wait, yep, yeah, that picture works. So this past Sunday, out of the blue, WWE released 3 superstars. Usually this happens on a Friday, because that would be normal, but nah, fuck it, let's do it on Sunday this time. WWE released Emma, Darren Young, and Summer Rae. I kind of get the Darren Young and Summer Rae stuff, because they're both coming off injuries, and if they don't have anything to do with them, sure. And they hadn't done anything with either of them in a long time. Cool. The Emma one is mystifying.
Yeah. I've heard things, and it's all pretty much assumption at this point, because WWE, at least 95% of the time, unless there's some very specific reason for it, doesn't release information as to why. They just, we have released this person from their contract. We wish them well in their future endeavors. That's it.
Yep.
And that's what happened with all 3 of them. But yeah, it strikes as very odd to have somebody who was just in a pay-per-view.
A featured match, really.
Yeah. The thought was, I've been hearing things, people basically saying that, well, Emma's been kind of on the outs for like the last 9 months now because of the whole crap with the Emelina and
right.
supposedly going to social media and the Give Emma a Chance hashtag and all that type of thing, which personally, I don't see an issue with the latter. That's how Zack Ryder originally got himself over. And
well, he paid for that dearly.
Yeah. Well,
but he's still there.
Yeah, and the 2 of them had a connection at one time as well. But
true.
But yeah, supposedly Emma is done, but the door is still open in the future. They just pretty much more of a case of, well, we have more people than we need, and I don't know if it has anything to do with, well, Naya's coming back, and, well, we only have room for one prima donna on the Raw women's roster, so.
Oh, yikes. But supposedly that wasn't even the Nia Jax situation wasn't even a prima donna thing. It was just her. It was time she had scheduled off before, and of course, someone at the Wrestling Observer, who will remain nameless, Dave Meltzer, will make shit up and be like, "Wow, she hates her job, Brian." Tired of listening to his damn death rattle every day. Drives me fucking insane. But the most fun part of this is we were both like, "Yep, she's gone." New NXT signee just recently made his TV debut. Leo Rush sends a tweet that I honestly believe he did in good faith, and I'll explain why, but was taken as very tasteless and can also very well be read as that, and I can understand the backlash he got. So shortly after Emma's release is announced, he tweets out, I guess these are the things that happen when you're not truly ready for at WWE Asuka. Okay. He may just be living in kayfabe world. He's like, and pushing it that way. I get that. He's trying to be a part of things. And I appreciate his gumption for that. Maybe you don't do that when somebody gets released though, kid.
Yeah, that's and see, that's the thing. It's something that a 22-year-old does, getting caught up in the moment, and we've all said stupid things. And again, on paper, it seems innocent enough. Because again, if it were a kayfabe firing, it would totally be something to tweet out.
Oh yeah.
But you took a real event and you had a kayfabe response to it.
Right.
And
so
again, that's something that may have flown in the 70s or something like that, but not in today's. Twitter is real, and what you see on TV is a totally different thing, and we're all actors and that type of thing.
Yeah. He got plenty of responses back from not just WWE talent, but the entire wrestling world, including Sean Waltman, who just wrote, "Sad to see this from you." Bray Wyatt wrote, "You ain't gonna make it here with the Wolves, kid." Tessa Blanchard just writes, "Tacky." Peyton Royce wrote, "Wow, kid, didn't you just get here? Professionalism goes a long way." Then he sends out an apology tweet, which is basically like, it's your fault you didn't know it was a joke. So I'm really sorry that you didn't know this was a joke, and not, I'm sorry I said something really stupid, which drew even more pushback. From Dash Wilder saying, "So busy trying to be a comedian, you forget you're a dumbass." To Jack Gallagher sending, "Apologizing because someone didn't like your joke, not for joking about someone losing their job. Also try the English classes at the PC." Because the apology tweet he sent, not very grammatically or spelling correct. And then the one like, "Good on you, kid," he got from Scott Armstrong. "Class act, my young friend. Rookie mistakes are made to learn from. Hashtag good man." And then there was a whole exchange between Scott Armstrong and Road Dogg on Twitter, where Road Dogg's like, "No, it's bullshit. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?"
Them Armstrong boys be fighting.
Yep. Oh, yep. So, hey, kids, don't tweet stupid shit.
Yeah.
Especially when someone loses their job. That may be a very inappropriate time to do that. Ooh. I think we have a January 4th Tokyo Dome match.
Oh?
On Twitter, Rocky Romero, or through the Ring of Honor account, Rocky Romero just cut a video promo challenging for the Ring of Honor World title. And that would make sense. January 4 in Tokyo Dome.
Okay.
Because Cody's already booked for Final Battle against Dalton Castle. So that'll be fun. Are we gonna actually do this and stay awake this year?
Let's see. January 4th.
What day of the week is it this year?
That's what I was just about to look up.
Let's find out.
It's a Thursday.
Ugh, boo. All right, that makes it tougher. Oh well, we'll figure something out. I may not make it through that one then this year.
I may not either, just because that evening of the 4th, or at least all day of the 4th, is my wife's birthday as well. So. Oh
yeah.
And it is a milestone birthday, I will say, as well. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Cool.
Yeah. So one last thing that I wanted to cover here, and I need to pull it up. And I don't know if I'm blowing up my old spot here, because I know everyone at WWE listens to this podcast and takes all our opinions and thoughts very seriously.
I'm pretty sure they do.
I'm on I'm sure you've seen it on Reddit or Twitter, the WWE Fan Council, where you can just put your email address in, and eventually if there's an opening, they'll send you surveys about, I get one after every pay-per-view and things like that. Well, I got another one today, and we knew we were a little light on topics, so I figured I could fill this out live on the air. We could see what they're asking this week.
Yeah, because I don't think I got one, so.
Yeah. Do you have Fan Council?
I've gotten emails from them in regards to other things, but I may not necessarily be in that fan council type thing.
I get no benefits from it. They just get my knowledge. So I just opened the link. Page 1 of the survey. How typically do you do each of the following? On a scale of once per week, 2 to 3 times per month, blah, 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 blah. Go to a casino. Never. Attend a concert at least one, or less than once a month. There we go. Play the lotto. Less than once a month. Play video games. Every minute I'm awake, probably. Watch a movie in a movie theater. Definitely less than once per month. Watch a movie at home. Less than once a month. Play video games on a console. Oh, okay, there we go. That's that one. Oh, the other one's phone. All right, 2 to 3 a month on that one. Attend a sporting event. Once a week. Pretty much. Use an at-home workout video.
You be doing that DDP yoga?
I do do the DDP yoga. Bang. Go to the gym.
It's funny.
Never.
It's funny because poop.
Yeah. Defecation. Lol.
Where's gotta poop?
Of the categories below, which of the following console video games do you currently own? Or types? Role-playing games? Yep. Sports games? Yep. Strategy puzzle? I mean, I own all of these, because Xbox gives me so many freaking games for free. I don't think this survey has anything to do with wrestling. Yep, yeah. Another video game question. All right, that bid didn't go so good.
So what? Oh.
It was a good try. Oh, Tom might have just died. He's back.
I like how I make a big effort to say something and then my throat closes.
Of course.
What are the Xbox Gold games this month?
I need to. My Xbox is literally on right in front of me. I could probably check. I still have not gotten 2K18, but it is always on sale on Black Friday, and I'll probably be at the mall, so I can probably pick it up. Oh, let's see here. So for the first half of November, Trackmania Turbo is free with gold on Xbox One. It looks like the Turing test is will be here through the 15th for free. And then the Xbox 360 game is Nights into Dreams.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I have that one. I think the Trackmania Pro or whatever it is the one that took place November 1st. So.
Yep. Yeah, that's the first one on the list.
My son will be happy for that.
Welcome to the Section 328 video game podcast. and personal injury podcast.
Hey, I could talk about WWE 2K18 if you really want to.
I mean, we could do a video game podcast. It would
Chasey would do much more than I would, because
it would be 2 hours of me bitching about Destiny, but it's simultaneously also telling you why it's the greatest game of all time, while simultaneously complaining about everything they've done in that game.
Isn't that pretty much what we do on this podcast about wrestling?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like fandom is fandom, no matter what. Like
Yeah.
Anything else we want to cover before we do match exchange? This is real low. SmackDown and Raw are pretty meh this week, so especially SmackDown. AJ's got a title match on Tuesday. That was announced today. That's new.
Can't wait to see him lose to Jinder.
Yeah. Braun came back out of a fucking garbage truck, which someone on Twitter pointed out is the same garbage truck Sting threw the Seth Rollins statue into. The exact same one.
Matthew from Matthew,
the
Botchamania dude.
Yep.
Used the Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie scene where the nerds are asking the question about how in the particular scene where Strowman gets thrown into the garbage truck, it is clearly a white garbage truck, but as he comes back out of the garbage truck, it is clearly like a red garbage truck. Are we expected to believe that?
Well, you have to look at it this way. He ended up he reemerged in a different city, so he was passed in a line of trash truck to trash truck transactions.
I'd like to think that maybe he ended up at a landfill somewhere and just kind of wandered for a little while and
I gotta get to Baltimore.
Made friends with a raccoon.
That is a series I'd like to see on WWE Network.
I would love to see that.
Braun and a raccoon.
Braun and his fuzzy friends.
I'd like to see Braun and his furry friends. That would be interesting.
That's a totally different show.
Late night on WWE Network. If they want more WWE Network revenue, there we go. We need like softcore wrestling. This has gotten weird. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
Match exchange. Okay. Match exchange time. Tom, I'll let you go first.
Okay. You gave me a match from sometime. I don't remember.
This match
I think it was last year.
I think it was. Hold on, I can tell you.
Because these people are babies anyway. You accurately predicted Leo Rush would be in the news this week.
I did. I am a fortune teller. That is my gimmick.
So you gave me a Leo Rush match as he took on Mustafa Ali in a someone's living room, I believe. Because the size of that ring I pretty much used for my kids' action figures.
I'm pretty sure it's the one, like, if you built your kids like a wrestling ring bed, that's what this is.
Yeah.
But it's scaled to their size, so it's appropriate.
One of the first things I noticed is Leo gets into the Leo gets into the ring, and, like, he steps over the second rope, and goes in like a wrestler traditionally would, and not that I'm looking at his junk or anything, but
but you were.
But Leo's barely straddling that second rope. Like, he's almost to the point where he needs to do the ladies duck under the second rope thing.
Yeah.
He's not a large individual. A match was okay. I don't know if I've been dulled by Lucha or whatever. It seemed very deliberate and careful. There were some great spots in it, but it seemed slow. Like, I don't know if the two of them hadn't really worked that often with each other, or if there was a particular or something going on. I don't know, but it seemed like everything was very careful. There wasn't a lot of running around. There wasn't a lot of quick spots. Generally, in like, say, in Japanese junior matches or lucha or even 205 live matches, you have a lot of quick spots, a lot of bang, bang, bang. This was, okay, I'm going into the corner. I'm going to stop. I'm going to do a leap. Wait. Here's my flip. And it was very textbook. There weren't really blown spots, but everything was done very careful. And it seemed a little slow and awkward to me for whatever reason. I mean, there were some good spots. I wasn't expecting as much ground wrestling as they started early. For two guys that are pretty decent high flyers, like the first 4 minutes of the match, I think were pretty much ground wrestling and grappling, which kind of threw me off. I liked the ending, which Leo gives a great top rope elbow.
Yeah.
And then Mustafa Ali dropped a pretty good frog splash to get 2 3/4. And then I can't remember what the name of that move is, but like that kind of when you throw them into the ropes and kind of interlock and do like a double flip type thing. Leo does that, gets the cover, kind of like tired cover, and Ali kicks out at 2, and in the process of kicking out, puts him in like a ground octopus move, which locks Leo in, and he's got nowhere to go, so he ends up tapping out. So that was a cool finish. I like that finish. Overall, 2 3/4 stars.
Okay. That's fair. I hadn't really noticed what you were talking about with the pacing stuff, but I get it. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I hated to get all Meltzer technical or anything like that. I kind of nerded out a little bit. Wow, the pace of the match is normally at a 3/4 speed. And they seem to be. No, it was weird having normally seen. I mean, I've seen other Leo Rush matches. I've seen Mustafa Ali fight. And again, I don't know if it was the size of the ring or the fact that the two guys weren't as familiar with each other, or maybe something switched up last minute or something. I don't know, but they seemed very careful and deliberate.
Yeah, that's accurate. So I watched the Fantastics versus the Sheepherders from 1986 in a New Zealand boot camp match. I didn't really take notes on this because I got exactly what I expected out of it.
Right.
Which was just late 80s wrestling that, okay, well, this is going to be what is essentially a hardcore match. Cool, so we're all going to be bloody in a couple of minutes and just beat the shit out of each other all over the place. With, simple weapons. Not like they're breaking out, barbed wire 2x4s and shit.
No, because we're still 86 or something like that.
Yeah, it was 86, yeah. But for what it was, I don't know. It was, even given what it was kind of slow for me. Like, it felt very, like, I don't know, like, the crowd was really hot, but, like, I wasn't super hot watching this match. I never really just got into it. I don't know why. Because I can usually watch most of these matches and get into them no matter what. But this one I was just very much like, okay. So this one's 2.5 stars for me, I think. And again, it could be if I watched it again at a different day and time, maybe it would like pop with me. But I don't know.
And I think too with the heat was that the Fantastics at the time were such baby faces. I mean, they were good looking guys. They appealed to the crowd. They were right up there with the Rock and Roll Express. And you had these sheep herders that were constantly trying to make them bleed and damage them. They were, these ugly, hideous bastards. So anytime that you have the good-looking baby faces get wrecked pretty much by bastards, and this was Mid-South / UWF, so you still have a good deal of working out there. So
Yeah. But yeah, it was whatever. I mean, it was fine.
plus you got a pretty strong style clash because the Fantastics were great workers and the Sheep Herders were just even
Brawlers.
Just straight up brawlers, and you have a very technically sound team and a brawling team, and I mean the Fantastics could brawl when they wanted to, but it wasn't necessarily their strong point.
So this week I have the match where one of these people will make news. See if we can go 2 for 2, and I actually hope not because I like both these guys. Defending the AAW title for the first time outside of the United States at Southside Wrestling in the UK, I have Sami Callihan versus Tommy End.
I believe you said his name incorrectly.
I have Sami Callihan versus Tommy fucking End.
There we go.
There you go. Sorry, Alistair fucking Black just doesn't have the same ring to it, and that's 100% why they changed his name.
Yeah.
But, you got the Callahan Death Machine, who's just a fucking psycho, versus Tommy End, who may literally kick someone's head off one day, and everyone would pop for it, even though they just witnessed a murder. It's good. I watched it today. It was great. So.
All right. So, I cannot take credit for tonight's match that I'm giving you.
Okay.
I will give all credit to Scott Dawson on this one.
Ooh.
He doesn't know he's giving it to you. But...
Friend of the podcast, Scott Dawson?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
One of those top guys. And I think I've mentioned it to you before, but one of my all-time favorite wrestlers growing up was Brad Armstrong.
Yep.
And today actually is the 5-year anniversary of his passing. He had a heart attack, just kind of out of nowhere. He was always in good shape, and it may have been a case of, wrestlers dying young. He was never really accused of having drug problems or anything like that, but things happen sometimes. So I wanted to find a good Brad Armstrong match. Okay. And Scott Dawson on his Twitter account threw something out there. And actually, I take it back, realizing that I don't know if I had mentally planned a speech in my head yesterday or what. The 5-year anniversary of his death was yesterday.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you planned this out then.
Yeah.
And then he went and got the crud.
Yeah. So, the match that he tweeted out and pretty much just did hashtag Brad Armstrong, hashtag RIP, is Brad Armstrong teaming with Tim Horner. Mind you, this is not the Lightning Express at this time. The Lightning Express for Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner back in the UWF, Mid-South, and through part of the NWA. Brad, in this match, is wearing his Candyman tights. That's a rant for another day.
Okay.
But basically, putting two singles wrestlers together and Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner at this point. This is on the WCW Power Hour, by the way.
Wow, okay.
Not on the network. This is the Saturday syndicated show. Thanks to what's the name of that? Monsoon Classic is the YouTube user who uploads a lot of the Saturday morning syndicated shows like WCW Pro, WCW Power Hour, Wrestling Challenge, Shotgun Saturday Night, stuff like that. A lot of good stuff. You should really check out his YouTube account. But it's Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner taking on the Midnight Express of Bobby and Sweet Stan Lane.
Yeah.
This is from August 31st, 1990, and I will send the link over to you.
I already found it. I got it.
I was going to say, if you find Scott Dawson's Twitter account, it's easy enough to find.
That's what it did.
But I haven't even actually watched the match, so it could be total crap, but I have faith in Scott Dawson, so.
I don't know that I've ever watched any of the Armstrong boys wrestle.
This may be personal prejudice, but I think Brad was a level above all the rest of them.
I know people think Scott was the worst, but I mean, it's not like he was bad.
No, I mean, all the Armstrong boys knew how to work. But Brad, I think, had more of the whole package, but he still got kind of stuck with his dad for a period of time, and there are questions of whether or not he could talk. He was actually a good talker, but and his later career when he was with WCW, kind of in the Nitro days, he did kind of a heel turn for a period of time, and he cut great promos. Like, he would have made a great heel, but they never used him as a heel in his, outside of, I think, the run under a mask as Bad Street.
Mm-hmm.
He was never really a heel outside of that short run on Nitro, so.
Huh. Okay.
But yeah.
Cool. That'll be fun.
And, I mean, quality mullet action from Bobby Eaton in this match.
Yes.
And from Tim Horner, really.
Yeah, right? Any final thoughts before you tell the people where they can find you on the internet?
I'm still conscious right now, so maybe we should just wrap this up.
Okay, we'll tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
Go to the Twitter machine, find at Mr. Workrate, at MR Workrate. You can find me on Snapchat if you really want to, but I really don't understand how that works or why the messages disappear, but there's unsolicited pictures, I guess, so if you want...
Ooh.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do on that? I just assume.
I mean, I don't think you're supposed to send them to the listeners.
But what if they want them?
Then they need to...
Then they're not unsolicited.
Then they need to go to patreon.com, search section 328, or click the Patreon button on the front page. If you donate enough money, Tom will add you to his snaps.
Then I'll attempt to figure out how the hell it works.
Yep.
Where are you, JC?
Huh?
How can we find you on the internet?
Everywhere, at JCBOBBITT, JC Bobbitt, everywhere. The show, at Cheaters Never Pin, Cheaters NVR Pin on the Twitter, on Facebook. Give us a big blue thumbs up there if you search Cheaters Never Pin. Yeah. I think that'll do it.
You barely ever... Now you sound like you got the crud.
Yeah, at the end there, I started... My voice has been kind of raspy for a couple days. I don't know why.
Like, you kind of getting too hard.
Too hard, yeah. I went as him for Halloween.
Yeah, yes. Here's your candy. Yeah. Do you got some room for Jimmy Neidhart? Yeah. Let's go down to the dungeon.
Hey, if you want your trick-or-treat candy, you have to go to the dungeon. I don't think you can legally say that at your front door to children.
Trick-or-treat downstairs, little boy.
Next week we'll be back with something. I don't know what. And then we'll do a Survivor Series show, and then we need to record one ahead of time for the week of Thanksgiving.
Take off your shirt and your shoes.
And I think our Thanksgiving episode needs to be the 20-year retrospective of the Screwjob.
Speaking of stew.
Right? Yeah, so that'll do it for us here. Still 2-2 in that hockey game, which I'm going to go watch and probably keep drinking because I'll probably need it. So I'm JC.
I'm Tom.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.